Coming up, just west of Fort Worth, Texas, there's a place where hangars are more important than garages. You taxi down the street to your home, and even the swimming pools have an aviation theme. The dream of living with your airplane. Many pilots have dreamed of living with their airplane, having the hangar attached to the house, being able to go in and do a little work on it, or maybe even just look at that beautiful airplane. Well, the people here at Bourland Field Estates, just southwest of Fort Worth, Texas, are living that dream.
It's always kind of been a dream of mine. It seemed like driving all the way out to the airport to spend time with my airplane, which I spend a lot of. I've always liked enjoying working on them as well as flying, and do a little restoration work, and I also do a little teaching. So the thought of living right at the airport where all my toys are right next to my house seemed like a great idea.
The idea is to be close to your plane and to live with others who share your passion, if not obsession, with aviation. Here you're just as likely to see a Beechcraft as you are a Buick on the streets. Remember, at Bourland Field, even on the streets, aircraft have the right-of-way. Ask them why they love air park life, and one word keeps popping up.
Convenience, for me at least. I mean, being able, like building a kit airplane and being able just to walk out of your kitchen into the hangar to start work, it's fantastic. And then if you want to take a break, go in and get a cup of coffee, you know, it's 20 steps instead of a 20-mile drive or whatever.
You can wake up in the morning and the sun's shining and the birds are singing, and just run out and fire up and go fly around a pattern a few times. It's a great way to start the day. I got to realize one of my dreams here too. When I first moved here, I was a full-time flight instructor over at the Granbury Airport. And so for the first time in my life, I could come out in the morning, open the hangar, get in my airplane, fly to work, teach there all day, and then get my airplane and fly home. And that had always kind of been a dream of mine, and I got to realize that. So I was pretty lucky.
The convenience of walking out of your home and getting in an airplane and taking off, and not having to drive anywhere.
Part of the dream is designing and building a house and a hangar just the way you want.
Building for the pilots has been exciting because we get to be an integral part in fulfilling a part of their dream of living in an air park, the convenience of living in an air park where they're able to have their hobby close at hand rather than miles and miles away.
As long as you're building your dream, why not a swimming pool in the shape of a plane? Doug Steen's creation was the talk of the neighborhood.
My wife and two daughters and I, we just sat down and drew profiles of swimming pools, and one of us had the idea of an airplane, and then it was a consensus immediately. Everybody knew it had to be an airplane. So after a couple of days, we settled in on the plan form of the Bonanza. We tried to give it a V-tail, just like our Bonanza. With your imagination, you can imagine that the spa and the steps look kind of like gear wells.
The pilots may come to Bourland Field Estates thinking about planes and hangars, but they quickly realize there's something else that makes this place special.
I think a big part of it is the people. It's just a wonderful place to live because everybody has a common interest, and you open your hangar door and the next thing you know there's 4 people leaning in there talking to airplanes, and what could be better than that?
And there's just always something going on. The neighbors are just wonderful. There's usually at least one party a month, and we go out walking together, we do fly-ins together. It's not uncommon to get somebody to just call you and say, let's go out for breakfast, and we hop in our airplanes and fly somewhere and have breakfast. We just love being here because the neighbors are wonderful. We like the atmosphere. The whole subdivision is just beautiful.
Hardly a snap decision, many residents took years to find the right place.
Living in the air park has been a dream of mine. This is the 8th time I've relocated from one state to another with my employer, Lockheed Martin. And every time I have looked at air park homes, And this is the first time that we've been able to strike a compromise where my wife and I both felt like all of our needs were being satisfied.
A big part of that satisfaction is the social life, from a breakfast flyout to a hangar party.
It's not much different than living anywhere else, other than the fact that you can just taxi your airplane out down the street and go flying. You know?
I'm just in heaven. I'm 20 minutes from work, and we've got a hangar attached to the house. And
This is the most wonderful place we've ever lived in all of our lives. And we've lived in Saudi Arabia, we've lived in Alaska, we've lived in Washington State, we've lived all over. But this is number one.
Those looking for the intersection where life merges with dreams might want to mosey down to the Fort Worth area and visit Bourland Field Estates.
It's an ideal life.